Everybody, or at least I think most people, love the stories about the actor or artist or business person who, after years of struggling or toiling in relative obscurity, finally gets their big break. They get the success that they were hoping for all along. It comes later, but better later than never, I guess. And you just feel so inspired that this could actually happen and that we don't have to place limits on ourselves based on our age or state of our career. Now, if you're the type of person who always gets success early and quickly, then feel free to skip this episode and come back for the next one. But if, like me, you often wonder how long you should persist, and every once in a while you abandon a project or idea because it's just not working, and then later on you wonder, oh, if I had just held on a little bit longer, or even worse, you see someone else who does persist with a similar idea as yours and does finally get success, and you miss out on it, and you wonder what really happened and what you might do next time. Stick around. In today's episode of No More Illusions, we will reveal what your chances of success really are over time and why you might want to persist. We'll share with you how it really works rather than the myths that people create around when success must happen, so you can decide what's best for you based on how it really works rather than just giving up because others say you missed your chance already. Welcome to No More Illusions. I'm your host, Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. So today we're going to explore the illusion of if success hasn't happened yet, it probably never will. And you hear that a lot when you look at artists, young artists, scientists, or mathematicians is one example he uses, and also filmmakers, where there's this prevailing wisdom that if it doesn't happen by, your 30s or a certain amount of time, then you're a has-been and you'll never get that success. But what Barabasi discovered was that with persistence, success can come at any time. And that's his fifth law of universal success, or fifth universal law of success, that with persistence, success can come at any time. And he studied especially creative careers, although I think this applies to pretty much any career, and how a lot of creative careers had sort of a long tail on their timelines, and that breakthroughs often happened very late, even after decades of work. And Barabasi analyzed artists, scientists, and filmmakers and saw that the probability of producing your best work is actually constant throughout your career. It's not stacked towards the beginning of your career. So in actuality, your next project, right, even though your previous ones didn't give you that big success, your next project, whenever it is, could actually be your biggest. The way I like to think about it is there is no expiration date on success, though there is no guarantee that it will come when you want it to, or sometimes even in your own lifetime. What is guaranteed, though, is if you choose to give up, which is not always a bad or the wrong decision, success for that particular project or effort will never come. So how do we apply this? Well, it's important to keep producing consistently and to not assume that your early career defines the ceiling of your success. Career arcs don't have a defined way of being, and they don't happen the same for everyone. So you shouldn't assume that someone else's model of a career arc is going to be your career arc. What Barabasi found was volume and persistence, right? Producing consistently and having a good volume of production increases your breakthrough probability. But what usually happens? We actually, as we get further on in our career, maybe we get tired, maybe there's other responsibilities, maybe we lose some of that passion, our volume actually goes down and our persistence can actually go down as well, which will decrease our breakthrough probability. So no surprise that it can seem less likely or harder to become successful than earlier in our career where we were perhaps at a high volume and super persistent. This can actually, has actually happened to me in terms of being a creator and publishing. So many years ago, I published my first blog piece, and it was terrifying at the time. And so many of the pieces I wrote, I would get some good feedback here and there from people, and they would let me know they appreciated or enjoyed it. But I never really had what might be considered even like a mini viral article or success. And after a while, you start to wonder, why am I doing this? If lots of people aren't reading this or enjoying it, am I just writing it for one or two people? Well, several years into this whole process, I wrote an article on imposter syndrome. Now, was it the best article I wrote? No. Was it the best topic I wrote on? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. However, what I do know is it was far and away the single blog post or article I wrote with the greatest impact and reach. The comments, the likes, the follows just blew away anything I'd written before or since, actually, if I think about it. But it was written years after I started blogging and posting on LinkedIn. I'll share it again on LinkedIn if you want to read it. So in closing, in many fields like art, music, and sports, and including your career at the office, there's this illusion that a lot of people fall under that if success hasn't happened early on, it probably never will. But the reality is, with persistence, success can come at any time. But there's a catch. For success to arrive, you have to persist and produce long enough for that success to arrive. Once you realize this, you can avoid the tragedy of giving up when success is right around the corner. If this resonated, you can join the Connection Counselor newsletter, where I share reflections and practical ideas on work, people, and personal growth. Just go to my website, connectioncounselor.com, to subscribe. A quick announcement. I'm excited to announce that my leadership book, Unlock Your Executive Presence, Feel Like a Boss, is now also available as an Audible ebook. You can find it on my website by looking it up on Amazon.com or on Audible by searching for Unlock Your Executive Presence. It's my second audiobook, and I took a lot of care in producing and narrating it for those of you who'd rather listen than read on this elusive topic. If you like the show, please follow us on Spotify. It really helps. And finally, if you'd like to share an illusion that changed your life, please send it to me at joe@connectioncounselor.com. I read every email and genuinely appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for listening to No More Illusions. I'm Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. Remember, clarity reveals, illusion steals.